It's time now for the It's time now for the Giant Sports Talk Live Morning Report.
Well, welcome in. Yeah, the rains were coming in so heavy I had to put on my, look at that, I got the sou'wester on. I took the raincoat off because starting to dry out. Joined this morning by my pal, Lou Marsden. Well, Lou, you need one of these, pal. You need.
Oh, I love it.
Do you realize on the radio show we do on Sunday morning, what were we talking about, Lou? Baseball rainouts. We were talking especially about the Dodgers. Do you recall?
It never rains in Southern California.
Well, it does in Georgia, Lou. And last night we only got a couple of innings in the books. And it was kind of a weird situation, wasn't it, Lou? Because they didn't want to put the tarp on because it wasn't supposed to be a heavy rain. And it certainly wasn't supposed to last long. Lasted longer. And, man, it added up quick. And it was a real kind of a mud pie of an infield, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think there was just a lot of confusion all around. The one good thing is I thought they probably shouldn't have started. And, it kept raining and they kept checking the apps. And, again, the apps aren't always 100%. It was just overall it was bad. But at least they're going to play tomorrow. One of the main reasons I have Luis Arias on my fantasy team. And, of course, he got 2 hits, so I want them to count. But I think it's going to be a lot of questions. What are they going to do with pitching? Atlanta has a huge advantage where their AAA affiliate is pretty close by. And, of course, the Giants is all the way in Sacramento, and that's a big 6-hour ride. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to use a starter. And then, of course, in game 2, as they will play 2 tomorrow, you got Ray, who the last couple of games is averaging 4 1/3 innings. So, boy, it's going to be crazy. I think game 1's going to mean a lot more to the Giants due to the fact of the pitching situation. But, if you lose game 1, the Giants easily could lose, 2 in a row. So, and I thought what was pretty cool is I was excited because we saw 2 former Giants in the lineup for Atlanta, and hopefully they stay tomorrow. So, very interesting. I've never seen it because really it wasn't really a rain delay. It was more the field conditions. And, again, when you watch a baseball game, sometimes you're going to see something you've never seen before.
All right. Let's just go back a little quick synopsis of last night. Runs came early and often, Lou. The Giants take a lead 3-2 before the rains came and washed everybody's hopes of watching some baseball for 9 away. The Giants scored early, first inning. I didn't feel confident. Look who was on the hill last night, Lou. And, boy, here comes Atlanta rolling back. So it's a 3-2 ball game that carry it over to today. And you brought up the name, or maybe, did you mention Dubon? Anyway, Dubon was one of those former Giants who was in the lineup.
No, there was 3 in the Atlanta lineup. 3.
You got Tom Smith, Dubon,
and
Yastrzemski.
And
put one by me early in the day, Lou.
Yeah.
There you go. And Dubon had a hell of a catch early in the game. Did you see him scoot in?
Oh, yeah.
There was a run that scored on the play from third base. I think it was Drew Gilbert scored on the play with some speed there, but a heck of a catch to record an out. So things carry over to today. Lou, you bring up a good point about how this affects the Giants. This is only the first night of the road trip last night, and now we're already thinking ahead to are we throwing like a bullpen game in game 1? How many innings will we see in game 2 from our starter? A lot of question marks heading into today. Could be a crucial day for the Giants, Lou.
Completely agree. It's either going to be a great start to the road trip or the nightmare continues. The one thing, too, is say the Giants don't hold on to this lead. Again, a long way to go, and somehow they get swept. 16 games below 500, a new high for the year. So they got to try to get off the schneid, win the first game so you don't have to worry about the sweep. But overall, the weather should be better tomorrow. But I just think, we've complained a lot about starting pitching. Tomorrow, it's really going to be on the spot.
You concerned about Robbie Ray's performance in game number 2? Are you worried about that start?
I'm always concerned when he pitches because his last 4 have been very effective.
I'm glad I'm not alone.
He has problems locating his fastball. The curveball isn't working either. And he always seems to be behind. He's always struggling, 2-1 pitches, 3-1 pitches. He's never ahead of the batters. And that's got, a team like Atlanta just going to sit there and wait. And again, I think there's a lot of pressure on Ray today because, he might be trying to save the Giants from being swept. So I think, later on today, it's going to be a struggle, And again, the Giants, oh, well, we got in late for Atlanta. I know you had the day off before. I think having the day off 2 days ago on Monday, flying out is really going to help the bullpen. But you brought up a great point, Glenn. Start of the road trip. It's not going to be easy. They then go to Miami, and who knows how the weather is going to be there. But that's where you got to have the team get ready. You got a 6-game road trip. We knew this when we talked about Sunday on the post-game show after the Giants won with Webb start. Hey, it's going to be a struggle in Atlanta. Possible weather delays. Here it is. I mean, if we're prepared for it, hopefully the Giants are.
Yeah, it's a rough way to start with the bullpen having to be taxed in the first game of what's going to be a long week, Lou. So the game was rained out, washed out. They didn't wait too long before they called it, Lou, and that will resume today. And you got the San Francisco Giants, Atlanta Braves. It'll be game number 1 with the original starters, Hauser and Holmes. Now, I guess you could simply say washed out of the picture, and we'll see who's on the mound today for both clubs. And Lou, you brought up an excellent point. Yep, but you brought an excellent point up. When you've got your their minor league team just down the road, and you can bust bust 2 guys over. I mean, all the advantage to Atlanta there. You got New York at Cincinnati. It was a rough night last night. I saw Kodai Senga was back on the hill, and they Mets got blown out by Cincinnati. KC's in Washington today. I like what Washington's been doing. Another team that went young. So are the Miami Marlins, a team we're going to renew acquaintances with this week. Lou, that Miami Marlin team playing in Philadelphia, they got plastered last night. This always scares me, Lou, when somebody beats up on the team we got to go face at the end of the week. What about you?
Of course. Well, they do got Eric's favorite pitcher pitching for them today, the great Sandy Contreras. So, he's pitched really, really well. This is probably going to be one of the last maybe 3 starts for Sandy with the Marlins. With him pitching tomorrow, he'll probably pitch the last game of the homestand when the Giants come to Miami. So he'll probably, get an easy win on Sunday against the Giants. But Sandy's always tough. Philly's had their first 2 aces, including Wheeler on 2 nights ago, Monday night. So, again, Miami's sort of going against great pitchers, but you know what's going to happen? Once they're done with Philly, they go home cooking and they get the Giants pitching. Big difference than Philly.
Yeah, absolutely. Casey Mize is healthy again for Detroit. He's on the hill up against Peter Lambert in Houston. San Diego and St. Louis. San Diego kind of in topsy-turvy situation now. St. Louis has been doing well lately. And the Padres, they got to get back on the winning track. They'll play this afternoon. Padres are so kerfuffled, Lou. They don't even know who's pitching. I don't know. Kyle Leahy goes for St. Louis. Tampa's in L.A. in an afternoon game where, Lou, it probably won't rain. Shane McClanahan, Shohei Ohtani. That should be a good pitching matchup. Angels, because the Dodgers are at home. The Angels obviously on the road. They'll play in Arizona. And the Blue Jays are over at Fenway. Some of the other action.
By the way, did you happen to see who's pitching for Toronto?
Yeah, Max, Madman Max with 2 colored eyes there.
Yeah, he's 1-4 with an ERA of 10. Surprised the Giants didn't re-sign him. He'd fit right in with the rotation this year.
No, re-sign him, but sign him up. Yeah, there was a lot of chatter about that in the preseason too, Lou. Chicago's in New York. The Yankees had their way with the White Sox, who are missing their big slugger Murakami with injury. You got Cleveland, Milwaukee, Colorado, Chicago, Baltimore, Seattle, and Pittsburgh in Sacramento. It's only taken me about 5-6 months now, Lou, but I'm finally calling them Sacramento and not the Oakland A's. And the second game of our doubleheader today will feature Robbie Ray and J.R. Ritchie. That one again in Atlanta. And if you're just joining us, last night the Giants and Atlanta got a couple innings, 3-2 ball game, Giants lead. They were washed out, and it was what made it weird. Again, we'll recap it, Lou, but that game, that was bizarre in the extent that they didn't have the tarp on before the game. They started the game, and then they tried to clean up the field. They were bringing that potting soil or whatever the hell it is, dry dust out, and they had I don't know how many bags of that. And did you see the guy? I need a job like this guy, Lou. Did you see the guy who must have been the supervisor? I think he was because he was talking to the umpires at one point. You see, he was riding around on the big tractor truck there.
The best. Yeah, that guy. That's the best job.
Yeah, you do that. You did. All the young guys were doing all the hard labor.
And then he spoke to the umpires and the managers like he was somebody really important.
They had both managers out there on the field too, and they were like, it looked pretty, as I called it, mushy. Lou, it looked like porridge out there, and I don't know. I think they made a better move was the discretion. Just call it off. It's tough when you're the guy who's traveled, bought the tickets. Maybe it's your kid's birthday. Difficult situation, Lou, but they're going to play 2 today. And you notice the start times, Lou. You got a game at 1 o'clock.
Well, 11. 1 o'clock your time, 11 West Coast time. Yeah.
So 11 o'clock. And then they're not going to everybody's going to go, hit the hot tub or the cold plunge. They get a bit of a break. So we don't even get a back-to-back significant doubleheader. We'll get an early game and a late game. Let's call it that, Lou.
Yeah, usually it's 30 minutes after the last out, but they're going to do it differently. So they start at 11, get going, probably end about 1:30. So they'll probably have a good 2-hour break, to get going. And guess what, Glenn? Guess where we're going to be between games?
I'm going to be right here. I don't know about you.
Right here, doing a post-game show. So that's right. Giant Sports Talk Live is going to do a post-game after the first game. Me and Glenn will be here, and we're going to do one after the second game. Because it doesn't matter when they play or how many they play, Giant Sports Talk Live will always be there for a post-game reaction, win or lose.
Eric might be in for the first one, the first post-game, the first of 2 today. And Lou, it's funny we say that. And then somebody in the chat will say, yeah, but one was rained out, so you guys were wrong. Listen, if they play both today, we'll be in twice. I believe Eric's going to be on assignment after the second game. He's going to be doing the Kuiper show tonight. So you and I will be holding down the fort here and giving everybody coverage of what transpires today. Again, Eric, Lou, I don't want to stress this too. Lou, look how far we are out. Lou, today is huge. A doubleheader. 2 today, and I think today could be the be-all and end-all for me. You start this road trip with 2 losses in one day, albeit the doubleheader from yesterday carried over, but Lou, it's big. It's a big day.
Yeah, it's big, and again, how much is the bullpen going to be used? I mean, and who knows? Maybe Ray might just be an artificial. Say the first game goes 11 innings, extra innings. Our bullpen's used. Ray might be there saying, hey, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. Pitch as many as you can. We have the ambulance coming in case you have trouble, Ray, but we need you to pitch 7 innings regardless. You got to think of the rest of the road trip. That's just the way it is.
It could be the case, Lou.
Yeah.
And the fact it's the front end of this road trip, we're not talking it's like next Saturday or Sunday when this people. This is like we just got to Atlanta and we're already in this position.
And so now it's going to be 5 games and basically 6 games in 5 days.
Yeah.
So that's pretty tough, especially for a bullpen. And as we know, beside Webb starts, all these other starts have been a disaster. So I don't know what you keep doing. I mean, they're going to bring up I don't know what the bullpen's going to look like because it always seems like we have guys going up, down, like a yo-yo effect. But the bullpen, it's either going to be overused because when we come back home, we got Monday off, but we have the A's coming. Then we have Atlanta again. So it's not an easy homestand. So this next couple of weeks is really going to determine. And, all over the news, Buster's made it public. I don't know why. It's, like everybody else knew, he's trying to trade some of the deadwood. I don't think it's going to be traded because I think we're not going to get what we want. And I think we're going to be stuck with it. But at least, hey, it's out in the news. Beside us here at Giant Sports Talk Live, we know what we have to do. The question is, can Buster get it done?
It's a good point. It was almost as this thing hit the wire almost, Lou. Did you notice that this was being reported by all the major baseball MLB journalists? It was on KMPR. It was on 95.7. It was the topic of the day. It was almost like the Giants are getting out in front of this because they know if this is a bad road trip, man, they're trying to like save face and like, keep buying tickets, keep coming to the ballpark because we're gonna fix this one way or another. So it seems to me that is their mode operandi, is to try to get out ahead of this a little bit. But yeah, you're right on, Lou. We all know what they have to do. Some people in our chat, I won't name names, Lou, but some people don't want to accept the situation for what it is, but we do know what has to be done. I'm going to get one more comment from Lou before we take a quick time out. Lou, this is a double-header day. It's a rare thing. There's only like once or twice a year, maybe, if that this actually, back in the 80s when I was like a young ball fan and I was like addicted to baseball, couldn't get enough of it. I mean, I lived, breathed, read about it in the newspapers. I was locked into the box scores. When box scores were really cool, they came in the size of a matchbook, and the whole game was right there. Lou, back then, double headers were a lot more common than they are today.
Yeah, usually I think once a year you might have seen like a twilight doubleheader, and that was due to a rainout. Obviously not in Southern California, but usually it was like on Saturdays. They'd give everybody a little extra, and you would play the first game, and then you'd have 30 minutes between them, and it was a chance to go. And it was fun. The games they would always start like an hour earlier. So if the normal game was 1:05, they'd start it at noon. And boy, I used to take the Ballpark Express. It would cost 50 cents round trip, and the tickets were maybe back then $10. See two games for $10. Get my big Mother's cookies and a couple Cokes. I was set for the day.
Mother's cookies.
And, of course, the malt.
Mother's
you had to have a few malts. Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard of that. I hope you saved the baseball cards for me, Lou. We're going to take a quick time out here from our sponsor, and then we're going to hear from Lou Marsden, and I'll chime in with our predictions. Not one prediction, but two. Today on Giant Sports Talk Live, the Morning Report. It's brought to you by our good friends at Tommy's. Visit them and thank them on behalf of Lou, Eric, and myself, everybody at Tommy's. You can also visit Lefty's Duxwell Printing for all your printing needs in the Bay Area. They will do the job overnight. They'll stay late just to get it done for you. And BetterCreditCards.com, John and staff, proud to support the show. And we support Signatures for Soldiers. You may see the logo. It's down there in the corner. Keep them in mind if your company or personally involved in any charitable things. Signatures for Soldiers, they do great in the community. All righty, Lou. I'm wearing a T-shirt today, fitting enough. I'm going to be wearing it when I do the New Wave Noon Hour, which is brought to you by the Toronto Blue Jays, by the way.
Nice.
On the radio station a bit later on. I'm wearing my English Beat T-shirt. Takes me back to the 1980s, the New Wave era. And they had a hit single in Great Britain. Didn't chart too well in North America, but everybody knows it. Save It for Later. Save it for later. So they wanted to save some baseball. They wanted to save it for later. So we're going to play two today. We got a few innings in, Lou. Now the Giants are going to be nursing an early lead heading into the second game. So I gotta ask you, just the first one. Let's deal with one at a time. Game one. It's actually from last night, carried over. I think the San Francisco Giants. Lou, you take the floor first.
All right. Well, the game one of the biggest problems is in the game they tried to play yesterday is shutdown inning. The Giants got the lead, and then they gave it up. So now they have a nice top of the second. What's going to happen? Who's going to pitch? A lot of mystery. So I'm going to give the advantage to the home team, and I'm going to predict this. It's so hard to win both games of a doubleheader. 85% of the time, the team that wins game one loses game two, and vice versa. But this is something a little bit different. I think if the Giants lose the first one and it goes, say, 9 or 10 innings and they use the bullpen, they're going to get swept. But I also think if the Giants can somehow win game one, again, it's a lot, but if they win game one, they got a chance to maybe win two in one day. I can't remember the last time they've done that, but I'm going to give the Giants just a little benefit. But if they lose game one, they're going to get swept. So if they win game one.
Lou, I asked you who was going to win, not, well, they might or they might lose. I don't know.
Game one is going to go. Why am I overthinking it? Game one's going to go to the Braves in a wild one, 8-6.
Thank you, Lou. I saw what you were doing there. They could win, and here's why. And they could lose, and here's why. I think that, Lou, the fact that they couldn't hold down a lead early in the ball game, and I know it was last night, but Lou, once we get out of we're technically going to go to the bullpen now. So you know what happens when we go to the bullpen. Nothing's scarier in Major League Baseball. It's scarier than my street at Halloween, Lou. I think they lose, and I think the Braves are going to flip the score quite handily. Maybe, I don't know, 7-4. I think the Braves win game one. All right, into game two. I think that the fact that we're going to be working the bullpen hard in the first game, as could be expected, it may not fall into place as we predict. It's what we do here. We just make predictions. But I think, Lou, if they work the bullpen in game one, it's going to set you in a situation game two where even if Atlanta scores early and often, how much are you going to ask of Robbie Ray in that game? And are we going to have the bullpen to win a second game in a must-win sort of situation?
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge because Ray hasn't done it. I don't know if you haven't been watching the Giants recently, Ray's been averaging 4 innings. And here's a situation where they need him to go probably 6, maybe 7. He's been ineffective. Obviously, his contract here has meant nothing. I have not been a fan of Ray for a while. So game 2, Giants up early. Braves come back, win 7-4 to get the sweep.
I think the Braves win game 2, another 6-7-4 type of ball game. Both games, I'm pretty close on the score. Your fear is that Robbie Ray ends up having to go deeper into the ball game than we would like to see. And Lou, earlier in the broadcast, if you weren't with us this morning off the top, Lou said the ambulance will be rolling in because they're going to pitch him to the arm falls off. Lou, let's hope that is not the case. But we've got 2 tonight. So, Lou, actually, late this morning, so I'm just kind of an omen here. I'm just going to, keep the rain away. I want to play 2 games of baseball today, Lou. And we'll visit with you after game 1, mid-afternoon. It's going to be a rarity, a double shot of Lou Marsden here on Giant Sports Talk Live. Hopefully Eric will be in. If not, you and I will cover it, and we will be in tonight. He will be on location. So he'll be over on the Glenn Kuiper show, giving his expert synopsis of what the hell's gone wrong with this ball club. And we lose both, Lou. It'll be the usual Glenn and Lou bitch session coming up tonight.
Of course. Can't wait.
Lou, thanks for this morning. Looks like you got your beauty sleep, man. You're looking good. You got the coffee. You're rocking the Pete's today. Look at that. It's my kind of guy. I started the morning.
I got 2 I got to get ready for. I should have bought it. I should have bought 2. Ooh, Grape Crush.
Yeah, it's all I had in the fridge early this morning, and I couldn't get the coffee maker to work. So, Lou, it is what it is.
You got the lid. That's what's most important.
Keep the rain away, and we'll see you mid-afternoon. First of 2 today, Giant Sports Talk Live post-game show. And we've been talking about it on the morning report. Lou, have a great day. Enjoy the ball game, and I look forward to seeing you this afternoon, pal.
Sounds good. Thank you, Glenn. Chat.
You've been watching the Giant Sports Talk Live Morning Report, a Northern Lights entertainment production.